me. Help me. Nigga.
BG.
Yo.
Okay, BG, Resurrection.
What up?
Alright,
Yo.
so what's your problem?
Well, let me tell you what my problem is. Okay, let me tell you how this started. Okay, you tell me if I'm wrong. So this shit didn't have nothing to do with me from the jump. This is between Shadow Man and Black Bond. Okay, Shadow Man made a video in response to Black Bond destroying this Nintendo. Okay, he was basically saying he didn't agree with it. I told Shadow Man I don't really give a fuck. That's his property. I don't really give a shit about, I didn't agree with the video. But Black Bond, I don't know how he saw the video. He gets on his video and basically he does what Black Bond does. Called him all kind of names and shit like that. Basically said, your channel is just completely dedicated to calling out grown-ass man and all this shit. And like I said, I commented to Black Bond. I was very respectful to him when I commented to him. I said, Bond, you can't really call somebody out. I mean, that's what the majority of your channel is calling out other men. Not that I have a problem with it, because I find it shit entertaining. So Black Bond proceeded to call me all kind of names. And just like anybody, nobody likes to fucking be disrespected. Nobody likes that shit. You don't like the shit. Hard 8 don't like the shit. He called me out my name. So that's why I decided to go ahead and just make videos about him. I did the shit for fun, but mainly to troll his ass, because I felt like, why should I let this nigga disrespect me? So that's how this shit all happened with this shit with Black Bond a couple weeks ago. Now this recent shit, basically, I've already told you how I feel about that. So that's how all this shit came about in the first place. Now, me making videos, I don't know why you have a problem with me making videos. What's the issue with that?
My issue with so I've been on YouTube a long time, so I know when people are trying to profit off of my name or profit off of something that I've made. So you putting Weapon Wheel Podcast or Weapon Wheel, whatever the title of it was, in your title, that's a reach to get attention. I've been on here a long time, so I know people to do it, and I think it's just a pathetic method of trying to capitalize off of somebody else's name, which is popular or known. That's my problem with it.
Let me ask you this, BG. How many fucking people have they put a response video to in their videos? From Hard 8 to Black Bond to Jack Move Johnny talking about Pyro. All of these niggas have done this shit. Hard 8, when he first started fucking YouTube, that was the first thing he did. So much to where his channel got deleted, if I'm not even mistaken. I don't know the whole backstory, but his whole first channel, because I used to follow I follow Hard 8 for like 5 years. So his whole channel, first channel, was dedicated to do that shit. And people y'all still do that shit when y'all respond to people in videos. If I'm making a video addressing something that happened on the Weapon Wheel podcast, which I have every right to do, just like anybody else in this community, you should know more than anybody. If you put some shit on YouTube, then you're basically open to criticism. Okay, you have put yourself out there, and you have put yourself out there so people can make opinions. So of course, in my title, why wouldn't I put in my title what I'm talking about? Why is that an issue?
So I can't speak on Hard 8 because I don't know what Hard 8 has done. As far as I know, Hard 8 doesn't really, with all of us, I can say that anytime we've made a reply to somebody, they've always had less subs than us. And the reason of that is because people always try to attack or nibble at the foot of the mountain, pretty much, to describe it. They always try to go after what's bigger because they want to gain or, benefit or capitalize off of that bigger entity. So I'm sure Hard 8 has, and Bond and everybody else has gone at plenty of people, I'm sure. But as far as I know, like me, myself, and I'm pretty sure even the rest of them, they don't really go after people that are bigger than them. Especially when we started out
different.
YouTube years ago, we were always getting attacked by people smaller than us. I've never been attacked by a, or brought up in a video by by a bigger YouTuber. Never, because it's always smaller YouTubers trying to capitalize off bigger ones. I've never, even when I talk about people, I avoid putting their name. I avoid saying their name a lot of the times. A lot of the times, not every time. And I even avoid putting their name in my titles because I'm not trying to capitalize off nobody. So I just don't like when people do that. I think it's a crummy method. I think it's like desperation for attention, and I just think it's corny.
Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm not trying to make a profit off of YouTube. I don't want a career off of YouTube. I don't want to go to E3 press conferences. I don't have a problem with people that want to do that. So if you think that I'm trying to do this so I can make money off of YouTube or make a profit, then that's completely wrong. I'm doing this simply, of course, like I said in my video, of course I want viewers. Nobody wants to make a video and you have 0 views next to your video. So of course I want viewers and I want people to look at my videos. But at the bottom line is, why is it okay, whether I'm a smaller YouTuber calling out a bigger YouTuber, why is it okay? So you're saying that it's okay for them to call out smaller YouTubers, but you can't do it because you can't do it when you're calling out bigger YouTubers. Is that what you're saying? Or you're saying if you are a smaller YouTuber and you're calling out a bigger YouTuber, then you're basically doing it for attention? Is that what you're saying?
Most of the time that is the case.
What's the cap?
Most of the time that's the case.
Well, what's the cap, BG? Is it 5? Is it 5 more subs? Is it 10 more? Is it 20 more? Is it 1,000 more? Or what's the cap? I mean, so you're saying anybody that calls out somebody with more YouTubers, they're doing it so they can gain subscribers.
Most
Is that
of the
what
time,
you're saying?
most of the time, like 90% of the time, that's always been the case. Always.
Okay. That's not my case. That's not my case.
And I can tell you that's been the case because of how they go about doing it. It just screams desperation.
I simply did
trying to get views.
I simply did what I did with Black Bond. I simply did that because he first of all, it pissed me off because I supported y'all for a long time. Okay, I've supported y'all. I'll even go to far as say this. Y'all kind of inspired me to start doing YouTube. I even say that because I started watching y'all years ago. Okay, so when Black Bond disrespected me like that, when I was very respectful to him, when he disrespected me, I'm like, why the fuck would you talk to somebody like this that has been subscribed to you like for a long time, and I'm not even disrespecting you, and then you basically call me out my name, and then you block me on some bitch shit. Like, why would you do that shit? And then he's saying basically that if somebody else calls him out, then they're social rejects. But when he does it, then it's no fucking problem. Or when Hard 8 does it, it's no problem. They're not doing the shit for attention, but we are.
Well,
I don't understand.
Like I said, I can't comment on Bond or Hard 8. I can't speak for them. You would honestly have to speak for them yourself, because I'm not going to defend them or speak for them. I'm just telling you what I know. What I know is Bond has always been that person that calls out people no matter who they are, smaller or bigger, right? But as far as I know about like someone like,
so you saying he's doing it for attention then?
Well, nah, Bond really doesn't care what he gets from it. What Bond cares about is calling people out when they're freaking wrong, pretty much. That's
exactly what I did, though. That's exactly what I did.
In regards to what? Like, you mean
in regards to him,
in
regards to him calling me out my name. If he had never called me out my name and just, this would never even be an issue. Bond decided to call me out my name, so I feel like I have every fucking right to defend myself. Every right.
Well, like I said, in regards to what Black Bond said to you, I don't got nothing to say about that. That's not what I care about or what I know. I'm talking about like the whole Weapon Wheel podcast thing, that you have a problem with Weapon Wheel podcast. That's what I'm really speaking on.
Well, I have a problem with the people like Black Bond that are able to say the shit that they say and then I feel like that just shouldn't. Just me personally, me. If I have somebody on my podcast, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. I was just giving you some constructive criticism. Whether you want to take it, which you obviously don't, that's on you. My thing is, I don't feel like somebody that says the shit that they say, that call people pedophiles and call people say that somebody's
Are you talking about
molesting.
Heartache?
Yeah, I'm just speaking in general. People that say that they've molested their kids. Why would you not, you as being cool with Heartache, why would you not say, hey, you taking this shit way too far. You shouldn't do this shit.
Well, let me tell you why specifically with that situation. Because the same person that he's calling a pedophile has completely slandered my name. I've even called out. I've even said things about that man. So if you want to slander and lie about me, I'm saying whatever I want about you. So that's why I don't care, because the person he's saying that to has been a proven liar, has been a slanderer,
right,
and someone who's just a complete liar and a fraud. So I don't care what he calls that guy, because that guy has slandered even my name.
Okay.
So I've called him the same things Heartache has. So I don't care about that man. Like
okay,
that man that he's.
So you just don't give a fuck about that. Okay.
I do not care. Heartache could wish that man to death, and I would not care because of what that man has said about me.
Okay. I can respect that. I can respect that part. That's the question. That's the question that I had, and I didn't get it when I asked you in the Twitter message. I didn't get that. You basically said that you could just run the podcast how you want it. You explained that to me. That's cool. I still think Bond is a fuckboy. First of all, that's why this whole shit came about anyway. Because the shit and put that shit aside. Let me bring up the shit that I said to you in the tweet. Black Bond is a racist. You don't think Black Bond is racist?
Against his own people, no.
Yes.
I think Black Bond just says shit. Like, Black Bond says dumb shit all the time that I don't take serious.
Okay, because when he made a video about black YouTubers that he thought were ruining the community, then he also said a bunch of black YouTubers that he thought were pretty good. He didn't mention anybody's name on the Weapon Wheel podcast. I'm just saying. Okay. But it seems to me that Black Bond has a lot of issues with black people. All the shit that he said about, if you didn't go to college, then you weren't raised properly. Shit like that. I mean, do you agree with that, or do you just don't care?
No, but then again, I don't take like everything Black Bond says to heart. Black Bond says fuck shit. I know this. Everybody knows this. I've told Black Bond publicly and privately he says a bunch of fuck shit. But it is what it is.
Okay, but let me
just like I just don't care personally.
Well, let me bring up something you said earlier. You said Black Bond calls out people in general, people that are smaller YouTubers and people that are larger, and you said that you don't think he does it for attention. So why can you say that?
The attention to make himself bigger? No, I don't.
So how can you assume that people like me are doing it for attention? I mean, what makes you think that you can say that?
Well, so first of all, the title of the video, Weapon Wheel Fuckboy Podcast, it was very opportunistic. And then you made another video after that.
About what?
They're just, what was it called? Dudes I'm unsubscribing to or something like that.
Okay.
The whole thing to me just honestly screamed attention.
I don't know how you can say that though. I don't know how you can say that when you just said Black Bond doesn't do it for attention, but he does the exact same shit. He does the exact same shit when he does videos. But you say that he doesn't do it for attention, but I do? I don't get this shit. How does this shit make sense? Like the shit that he puts in the title of his videos, I don't understand how you can say that me addressing the shit that's going
because here's the thing. Here's why I don't think Black Bond does it to benefit himself. Because Black Bond will do it to people that he won't benefit from. Like, he'll do it to a channel with like 0 fucking subs. He's not gonna benefit off of that.
Yeah, but you also said he does it.
But he'll still fucking do it.
Yeah, but you also said that he does it with You said he also does it with people that have more
Bigger,
subscribers
yeah.
than him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but he's
but
not doing
it's
that for attention.
not to grow, no, because he does it so much to people that won't benefit him that I can't say, oh, but Bond is doing this for views. No, this is just what Bond does. He'll, like I said, he'll do it to. Will he do it to the bigger guys? Yeah, but he's not targeting bigger people because they have more views or subs. He's not doing that. Since he's been on YouTube, he's been doing it to the same type of people that really don't benefit him.
Okay.
That's why honestly Bond doesn't really grow, because one, the type of videos he does, and two, the people who he goes at don't benefit him. If anything, they might benefit because they're like not really anything to like. He has nothing to gain from attacking them, really. They're small or the same or at the same statue that he is. So that's why I say when I see smaller YouTubers going at significantly big YouTubers, to me that screams attention. That screams I'm trying to have this come up.
Yeah, but y'all said this shit when I was going at Bond though, that I was wanting attention, and y'all didn't know the fucking backstory. This nigga disrespected me, period. And Heartache, while you in the fucking chat, you can come in here too, because that's some bullshit. That shit that he's saying in the fucking chat. Okay, because so Heartache is the main nigga that gets sensitive when somebody says some shit to him. He get to crying like, oh my god, this nigga, you cocksucker, and he blocks him. So you need to shut that bullshit up, because you the most sensitive nigga out here. Okay, so if anybody disrespect you, Heartache, you mean to tell me that you're not gonna defend yourself? Because that's exactly what the fuck happened with me and Bond. So if you was here earlier, your dumb ass would have heard that shit.
Like I said, this is about
it ain't got shit to do. It ain't got what I did with Bond ain't got shit to do with trying to get attention. It was simply about fucking respect, and I wanted to troll his ass and do to him what he does to everybody in this fucking community. So please exit
like I
stage
said,
left.
The only thing I care about is like a weapon wheel. I don't care about defending Heartache or Bond. I don't care about that. Because like I said, with the shit that Bond says, everybody says some crazy shit sometimes on there. So that just is what it is.
I'm not talking about the podcast. I think I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the podcast.
You have a problem with the people on the podcast.
I don't have a problem with the fuck you, Heartache. Shut the fuck up.
You have a problem with the people on the podcast.
Fuck that link. I don't give a fuck about that link. I'm gonna call your PO. You need to shut the fuck up. I don't have a problem with the podcast. Like I said,
people.
I enjoy the podcast. The problem is that niggas say disrespectful shit to their subs. They say disrespectful shit to other YouTubers. And then, when we want to call them out on the shit, then all of a sudden we're seeking attention. It's hypocrisy. That's all I'm saying. The shit is hypocrisy to me. I said it from the jump. While Heartache talking shit, I said it from the jump. I didn't have a problem with Heartache. My problem was with Black Bond. Okay, but Heartache, this nigga, shut up. Parole, probation, whatever the fuck you on. You got a PO, nigga. You got a fucking PO. You got a parole officer.
Hey. Oh shit, I just went. Well, anyway, like I said, you said like Black Bond is a racist. Like that don't got nothing to do with the Weapon Wheel podcast and why I let people on the podcast like that. So I don't know, like why you like all the criticism of the podcast is all I came to address.
Okay, well, what about One Stop for Gamers? Why hasn't he been back? What about live?
There's a lot of people that there's a lot of people that ain't been back.
What about Live Wires Gamers? Why ain't that crazy nigga been back?
There's a lot of people that I've loved on the podcast that ain't been back. Mystic ain't been back.
So he was amazing. Would you invite One Stop for Gamers back?
I don't necessarily have a problem with that.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't no reason. There wasn't no reason like.
But this nigga out here talking. But this nigga out here talking. But this nigga's out here talking crazy about people's dead mothers. But you want that nigga on the podcast. That shit's crazy.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about One Stop for Gamers.
Okay, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that. I never said I
Okay.
wanted him on the podcast. I said I never had like any like
So you
specific issue I had with him being on the podcast.
okay?
See,
So you
here's the
didn't
thing.
know about him doing that.
I'm not doing no like huge background on what people say, like vetting process
Nigga,
before I
it
let
was
them
in
on the
your chat.
podcast.
It was in your
Do I
chat.
generally look up what these type of people say? Yeah,
It
but
was in
I'm
your
not
chat,
like doing
BG.
some US, background check on everything. You mean what he said about Ralph?
Yeah.
Well, I seen that. Yeah, it wasn't cool. I haven't spoken to him since then.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
spoken to, but I'm saying like in regards to,
Okay.
in
I'm
regards
just saying.
to like
I'm just
me,
saying. It just seems to me. It just seems to me like I wouldn't want anybody on the podcast that would say something like that about somebody's
look,
deceased mother.
yeah.
Why would you
Here's
want
the thing.
somebody like that on your
Here's the thing.
podcast?
If I didn't allow, or I was like had a ban list based on people's interaction with everybody else on YouTube, then everybody would be banned from the podcast if I based it on that. Let's be real. I can't base who I let on the podcast based on like how they conduct themselves with other people. That's not real. That's not, anybody who thinks that's real is kind of ridiculous. I'm not like that. That's ridiculous. Like me and Ralph were cool, and like probably before I would just let what's the name back on the podcast, would I like, yo, you gotta like address some shit? Yeah, probably. But I'm not just like gonna say right off the bat I wouldn't let him on. I've had no interest specifically in having him back on. Like I just didn't care. I didn't care either way about it.
I see what you mean. Heartache, quit crying in the fucking chat. You crying like shut the fuck. You just tender, man. God damn. The thing is, the video I made about you, Heartache, was a fucking joke, and you acted exactly the way I thought you were gonna act. You acted exactly. You got sensitive. You're so tender. You a little chicken tender. Somebody dip this nigga in honey mustard. He's just tender as fuck. God damn. Why is this nigga always crying, man? I don't understand.
What's the other issues you got with the podcast? Because people seem to.
I don't.
There's always
hey,
cynics of the podcast.
Hey, like I said, I don't agree with this with what you said, but I respect that you've tried to explain it. To me personally, I just wouldn't. That's just me. I wouldn't have everybody on my podcast, especially when they say outrageous shit. Would you have somebody like what's this nigga's name? Blackie Lebowski? Would you have him as a permanent guest on the podcast?
Yeah, I would love to have Blackie Lebowski on.
I'm talking about as a permanent guest.
No, not as a permanent guest, because I have my permanent cast. The permanent cast has been based on chemistry and what works. And we pretty much, our permanent cast right now fits well. So that's why he wouldn't be a part of the permanent cast.
Okay.
There's several reasons why he wouldn't be a part of the permanent cast. It's chemistry. He's not really a stable-minded gamer, or a gamer in general. So there's several reasons why he wouldn't be on. But I would love to have him on, so he can address some of the fuck shit he said.
Okay, well, hey, I don't know. Like I said, I don't agree with everything you said, but I do appreciate you that you talking with me about that. But I just wanted to let you know how this shit started, because when I started talking about buying, people were saying I was seeking attention. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. The dude was disrespectful to me, and that's why I did what the fuck I did. So that's just that story.
The reason I even like agreed is because there's a lot of people and skeptics that say, and cynics that say a lot of dumb shit about Weapon Wheel podcast that ain't true. There's a lot of dumb shit that's and I see people co-signing this.
Hey,
I see people co-signing.
I mean, BG, if you look at I'll agree. I'll be honest. The title of the video might have been a little bit of clickbait. It might have been, because if you actually listen to what I said in the video, I wasn't really knocking the podcast, your podcast. I wasn't knocking the podcast. I had some shit to say about some of the people in the podcast. But I mean, I don't know why you're disagreeing with what I'm saying. I don't understand how you don't understand what I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm confused
about. The people.
Yeah, that's all I was talking about.
What they say.
That's all I was talking about.
You have a problem with what they say in the podcast or out of the podcast?
No, I don't have a problem with what they say in the podcast at all. My thing is the shit that they do outside the podcast, and then they hypocritical about the shit when other people do it.
I can't.
That's my thing.
I can't. I just can't really do anything about really what they do or say outside of the podcast. Really, I mean.
Apparently, Hard 8 wants to come in here. Somebody sent him an invite because for some reason he thinks that I called BG in here. I didn't call BG into this party. That's not how it went down. BG started commenting on my video, and baby girl hit me up in a party and said that she wanted to get BG in here so we could talk. So I didn't ask for BG to come in here. So this nigga comes in halfway through and thinks he knows what the fuck he's talking about, and he keep talking his shit. Go on, who sent me that? Who sent me the invite? Was that what's Hard 8's name on PlayStation?
Hard 7 times. Well, I'm trying to figure out, is there any other criticisms of the Weapon Wheel podcast? You know, because a lot of people say bullshit.
BG,
like,
I never criticized your podcast. Even in that video, I did not criticize you.
Okay.
I criticized the people in the podcast. All I asked in the video.
Who else besides Hard 8 and Bond? Like, I guess, do you have a problem with?
Well, I don't really have a problem with anybody else.
Okay.
I've had besides some of the guests that you've had on. Now permanent members, I haven't. No, I don't have a problem. Look, but One Stop for Gamers, he's crazy. That nigga Live Wires Gamers. I don't know how.
I had One Stop on like before he said any of that shit. Anyway.
this nigga Hard 8 is hilarious, bro. Bro, this nigga Hard 8's crazy. Like, this nigga's why I don't even understand why he's here. But my thing is, I mean, if I can understand that you don't know everybody, you don't do background checks. But that was my issue. I had an issue with some of the people that was on the podcast. Never had an issue with anything anybody said in the podcast. Period. So that's all I said.
All right.
But you're saying I don't have the right to basically make videos about that. Otherwise, I'm seeking attention. That I don't agree with.
And here's my other issue with a lot of people that talk about the podcast or what I should not do. And this is not like an insult to nobody. I just live by a certain I just live by a certain practice that I don't take advice from someone who hasn't accomplished the same thing as me or more. And that's not even like some cocky shit. That's like, but it's like you're in the NBA, right? You're not gonna take advice from someone who's never made it to the NBA. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So I'm not gonna take advice from somebody who's never had a podcast together before. So, like when people say, oh, it should be this and it should be that, I'm like, show me your podcast that you've made, that you have experience with, and you know how to handle, because everybody thinks they know how to handle a podcast, which is amazing to me. Everybody thinks they know how to make one, how to handle one. Okay, then make one then. Go ahead, make one. Make it successful, make it popular every week. Do that. That's my thing, I say. Do it then. It's like when Jay-Z said when like Jay-Z said people think they made Hove. Okay, make another Hove. Do it. That's my whole thing. I just don't take advice from people unless you've done something that I've done.
Okay. That's your personal opinion. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there's a lot to be learned by a lot of people, big and small. So, I mean, I can't necessarily say that I've learned everything that I've learned is from people that had they shit together at all times. I've learned shit from some of the slummiest people before. I've learned shit from people that have felonies and are fucking on probation and parole. I've learned a lot of shit from people like fucking Hard 8's ass. That nigga is a 2-time felon. Okay? So I'm not saying that I don't think Hard 8's ever done as much as you've done. But you saying that you wouldn't take advice from Hard 8? Have you never taken advice from him?
Honestly, I ignore a lot of the shit that Hard 8 says. Hard 8 has told me like a lot of shit that you can ask him. I'll be like, nah, fuck that. Like Hard 8 tells me shit like to like stop doing, like he don't think I should make certain videos. I still do them because that's not Because I don't think, like, I just don't go by what the shit he says. I don't. Like, me and him are cool, and I'll be like, man, I'm still gonna do it. I don't give a fuck what Hard 8 say, and we cool. If I want to do something, nothing Hard 8 says can stop me. Nothing.
Okay.
So honestly, no, I really don't take advice from Hard 8 either on shit. He's talked to me. Like, he's talked to me on what he thinks and all that. Like, we have those talks, and I still, like, you know, he'll give me a half an hour spiel about, you know, how certain videos don't work, and you know what I'll go do right after? I'll make the exact same video. That's just what I do.
Okay, cool. Well, all right. Well, that's the only issue I had. Besides, I mean, that's all I had to say, really. Shit, it is what it is.
All right, man.
I appreciate you coming in to clear this shit up. I still think think your boy Black Bond is a fuck boy. You need to kick him off, but hey,
look,
it is what it is.
See, I'm not gonna. The thing about Black Bond is I'm obviously not gonna kick him off. And people have told me I need to kick off certain people. It's never gonna happen. Not for the reasons that they want, at least. I would never kick off somebody for any of those reasons. Could somebody possibly be kicked off? Yeah, but I see no reason currently to kick anybody off the podcast right now. And here's the thing, I don't like Black Bond, like, personally. And I've told people that. Like it's no secret that I don't like Black Bond, but that has nothing to do with the podcast. Like, he makes a good podcast member. It is what it is. It's like almost having a coworker. You may not like that motherfucker, but that nigga get the work done. So I would never spend no time in the real with Black Bond.
Okay. Cool.
But he gets the job done. Okay. And his commentary and what he says is valuable.
Basically, you're saying it's about that green, is what you're saying.
It's about the podcast. It's all about the podcast. It's all about the podcast. It makes it work.
Okay, so it's about that money. That's all I needed to know. I got you.
And we just got good chemistry. As much as, like, I don't like him. Like I said, I would never spend no time with Black Bond in the real. But like the podcast, him included, we just have good chemistry together. So that's what it's all about.
Okay. I just wanted niggas to know why, basically, from the jump, why I went at Bond anyway. That's what I wanted people to know, because, you know, he posts these little clips and shit, and, you know, switches words around and all this shit. When people, all they gotta do is really just listen to what the fuck really happened.
I've said that, and me and Bond have gotten into it on Weapon Wheel podcast. Bond is a manipulator, and he fools people. I've said that. But it is what it is. I know he does it, and I accept that.
Okay.
That's
I'm
why
just saying
I don't fall for his bullshit.
That's all I'm saying, is I have a right to defend myself, just like Hard 8 defends himself all the time, just like anybody in this community defends himself. Don't nobody want to be talked crazy to in no comment section for some bullshit. I mean, right
Bond
or wrong.
Bond is full of shit, man. Yeah, Bond is full of shit, man. But it is what it is. Like, it's just part of the game. Bond is full of shit.
Okay, but I mean, you say that though. You say that it's part of the game, but then you turn around and say that I'm doing the shit for attention, which that's what bothers me. When it has nothing to do with it. Like I said, it's about fucking respect. Like, I'm not gonna let this nigga just talk reckless to me, like, and then block me and then continue to talk shit. Like, that shit's crazy. And then when I make a video, I'm a social reject, or I'm doing the shit for attention because he's a bigger YouTuber than me and I'm smaller. That shit is hypocrisy, man.
Well, I said you were seeking attention with the whole title. The title was the main reason. If you just went at like Black Bond or Hard 8 even without a clickbait title, I could see it as like a reason, like you were really trying to get at them. But the Weapon Wheel Fuckboy podcast, like, cause that seemed like clickbait to me, like I said. And you got to realize that when people dislike us, we have a lot of people. My podcast probably has the most hated people in the community. With me, Hard 8, and Black Bond, individually, there are so many fucking people that hate us. So could you imagine how many people hate the podcast itself? We are the most hated podcast easily. So
I wouldn't.
So like, it's just we are definitely the most hated. Like, we're definitely the most hated individuals in there. But yeah, like it's just that's just what it seemed like.
Hey, it is what it is. I mean, I don't understand why it's a problem to have a title to your video that's gonna grab somebody's attention. Why is that an issue? I mean, you
Like I
shouldn't.
said, the title is what just made it seem like you know, it was clickbait because
But
we're so hated. All the people that because we're so hated, all the people that see that title that hate us are gonna gather around that title now. It's gonna be like they set up camp and like a kumbaya fire. You'll see it like we've even tested this out, right? People that don't even like you will suddenly start liking you because they hate who you're talking about. So they won't even like you. They probably don't even fuck with you. They don't even like your channel. But because you're saying some shit you're saying some shit about people they don't like, all of a sudden they just hop on that hating bandwagon. So
Oh, I mean, yeah.
that's why it seems like it's for attention, because we see so much of these people that are just trying to take advantage of the hate gathering, that it seems like it's just for attention. Like, I mean, even on those, go look at those videos like that you made. That's just a culmination of people that don't like us. That's not even like a culmination necessarily of your fans. I'm not trying to, like, you know,
No,
hate.
I'm not saying, I'm not
Those
disagreeing
videos
with
are a
you.
culmination of people that just don't like us.
Well, they can still be I mean, they can still be fans, but and not like you
They
at the
can.
same time. I mean, look how many times people like Black Bond has talked shit about Zaire. I mean, those people are still his fans, but they also hate Zaire at the same time. Mainly because I mean, he's a fucking manipulator, but I think they can still be fans and still not like somebody. So that's just my opinion on it. I don't know. But hey,
Sure.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you clearing it up. I kind of have a better understanding. At the same time, I still disagree with some stuff, but it's cool.
All right, man.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, baby girl, you there? Okay, she's not here. All right, man, I'm out.